All right, I am pleased to have my man, Jason McIntyre. What's up, brother?
Good, you finally invited me on. I know you're ducking me because you're scared to step in the debate.
He starts swinging
with
right
J.
away.
Mac.
I can't even give him a full introduction. The big lead, founder, and speak for yourself, personality. I'm going to chew you up.
Okay,
I
I'm
love
ready.
you. You know that.
All right.
But in here, you in the zone now,
I'm
man.
in the
You don't
zone.
step in the zone and just think it's going to be all hunky-dory.
Like my jumper when I'm playing you one-on-one is just in the zone.
Talking jump. All right, let's get right to it.
Okay.
All right. You know who I'm with on the MVP.
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Russell Westbrook, hands down, without hesitation. He is the MVP. Who you got?
James Harden. Hands down, without hesitation, he's the MVP. Listen, this was a team expected to do nothing. They were pegged by Vegas to win 41 games. James Harden takes a ragtag group. Eric Gordon. Nobody wanted Eric Gordon.
Eric Gordon's going to be sixth man of the year.
We laughed on Speak for Yourself when I said the Knicks are going after Eric Gordon.
Only because he's injury prone.
Now that he's healthy.
He's healthy. When he's healthy, everybody knows he can play.
Ryan Anderson, Trevor Ariza, a bunch of
Trevor
cast-offs.
Ariza's a champion.
Mike D'Antoni, who got run out of New York.
When he has the right personnel, D'Antoni is great.
So this is all a magical season because of James Harden. He changed positions. He stopped being a ball-dominant shooting guard, became a true point guard, led the league in assists, 29 and 11, changing positions, and the most important stat, 50 wins. That's the key number. Every MVP, I believe, since 1980 has had more than 50 wins. And
since
I'm telling
1982.
1982. There you go, Mr. Stat Guy.
But it's
and
happened
let me
before.
toss one more for you.
4 times guys have won the MVP award without winning 50 games. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
the 70s?
won it with a losing record.
In the 70s.
Yeah, but still,
when there were
so
16
the 70s
teams?
doesn't count?
Well, there were 16 teams in the league?
doesn't count?
Come on, there was like 8 good players in the league in the 70s.
Listen, you disqualify yourself right
Chris,
now.
Listen, I've got to go to Westbrook and point out one thing. We wrote about this on the Big Lead. Russell Westbrook has been stat padding for months. If you look at it, they box out other people so Westbrook can go in and get the rebound.
Why then are they 33 and 9 when he has a triple double?
That's just
if you cheat the game like that, where you're making sure you don't get the rebound but he gets the rebound. When you do things like that, or I don't defend, I'm not going to contest my guy's shot so I can go get the rebound. You're not winning 33 of 42 games if you cheat the game like that.
Is it too early to play the fake stats card?
How's it fake stats
Russell
if they're
Westbrook,
33 and 9 when he gets the triple-double?
He's basically collecting 2 more rebounds a game than James Harden. And if you look at the video, and there's plenty of it.
better than 398 in baseball.
Oh, you mean
yes.
400 shots more than Westbrook's taking?
400. This is the equivalent. Getting this triple-double is the equivalent of hitting 400. It's the equivalent of breaking Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak. If you that's the equivalent. This is
somebody get this man a glass of water.
LeBron James said himself on his uninterrupted video that we never thought we would see this. The one man we thought might be able to average a triple-double himself said we never thought it could be done. Think about, did you ever think you'd see a guy average a triple-double for a season?
Listen,
can you answer my question?
Yes, and here's why. Before the season on Speak for Yourself, when they lost Durant, you came on, I believe it was early October, and you said, hey, Westbrook might average a triple-double.
I didn't think
we
he could
pull
do
the tape, but you said it jokingly. Everybody said it jokingly. Hey, maybe he'll average a triple-double.
Nobody thought he could actually do it.
But again, the stat padding with the rebounds. And let's not forget, they only won, 44 games? 45?
40, what are they, 47, I believe.
46,
At
47.
least 47, I
Their
think.
expectations were 47. By Vegas, 46, 47. This is...
Listen, Vegas isn't a basketball expert.
Oh, my God. They've got the inside
Vegas,
information.
That's people.
Okay, I'll take Vegas out of it. Are you ready? I'm going to hit you with something that's a later question. Steph Curry's season last year was more impressive than what Russell Westbrook has done this season.
That might be true. I mean, what Steph did last year was tremendous. That's last year.
Right.
That's last year.
And guess what?
We're talking about this year.
When it came to MVP voting last year, all 131 votes went to Steph Curry.
What's
now
that got to do
we
with
got a
this
debate
year?
because it's
we do
obvious.
have a debate because James Harden has been tremendous.
Yes.
Kawhi Leonard has been great. Yep. LeBron James is always great. We do have a debate. But there is no question that the winner of that debate should be Russell Westbrook. How in the world are you going to deny this historic feat?
I'm not denying
and your
anything.
team is.
He had a nice season.
James
Way to
Harden
go,
is
Russell
great.
Westbrook.
I don't want to disparage James Harden at all. Okay, he has been great. He was my MVP up until about a month ago.
So what changed in the last month?
The fact I didn't
when he
think,
hung 57 on Orlando,
well,
and
that helps.
Oh, he's
and
crushing
all the game-winning shots.
He's beating lottery-bound teams
been the best?
with 50-point triple-doubles.
Who's been the most clutch player in the league this season?
I don't have the stat in front of me.
Russell Westbrook.
For sure, you've got
yes,
that.
for sure. Hitting three-pointers to win games. He's not even a good three-point shooter, but he's hitting them to win games.
He's hitting clutch shots to win games against the likes of Denver, who's going to be in the
Hold on,
lottery.
they've beaten
Orlando.
They've beaten
Dallas.
So it doesn't count?
What's he doing against the good teams?
It's the NBA.
What's he doing against the Warriors? Losing by 20.
Oh, and Harden's beating the Warriors?
Harden beat the Warriors in Golden State.
What?
Still, that's one. And what did he do against Cavs?
I
forgot.
Oklahoma City has beaten every team in the league, every elite team in the league except Golden State.
I got a producer in my ear
Golden State.
saying we got to get to the second question.
You're running away from me.
I'm
you
not
know.
talking to
You're right. There's nothing in your ear except wax. There's no IFB in your ear. You're running.
I was joking.
Point Broussard. You're right.
Oh my gosh. Where does Westbrook's season rank all time?
I'm not going to say it's the best.
Okay, good.
All right, I'm
That's
not going to
good.
say it's
All
the best. I think Michael Jordan's years, I mean, he averaged 35 points, 8 assists, or 32 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists one year. He averaged 37 one year, 35 another year. And Michael Jordan always was over 50% shooting early in his career when he put up those numbers. You know, so I'm not going to put – and Jordan was a two-way player. Westbrook has not played great defense this year. So I'm not going to say it's better than that. I think LeBron has had better seasons.
Wait, top 10? Is it top 10 all time?
It's got to be top 10.
Yeah, since you're Mr. 70s and 60s.
So the 70s, they couldn't hoop.
Wilt Chamberlain,
Is that what you're saying?
Wilt Chamberlain averaged 50 for a season.
50
That's in there,
26.
right? Okay, just making sure that's in there.
Just to let you.
Okay,
Same
60s.
year Oscar averaged the triple-double.
Okay, good.
So I'm going to say it's top 10. It has to be top 10.
All right, let me push it a little further. I
You
said
saying
earlier.
it's not top 10?
No, it is top 10.
Okay.
Steph Curry last year or Russell Westbrook this year?
Oh, that's a good
He
one.
averaged 36 and 5, 30.6 rebounds, 5 assists. Won every first place MVP vote. Made 400.
Now he should not have been the first.
Made 402 3-pointers. Nobody in NBA history had ever made 300 in a season.
No.
Okay. What he did last year: 50% from the field, 45 from 3, 90 from the free throw line. One guy had done that.
But you know what?
Steve Nash.
Beyond that,
I didn't even get to 73 wins.
If that's what made, like, let's say you talked about Steph. Let's say Steph. You put Russell last year, Russell does. You know, they do it in the same season. So Steph averages the numbers you mentioned, and Russ averages a triple-double.
Do the Warriors win 73?
Well, that's the thing. I think if they don't win a historic number of games, like say they win 65, I still think Russ maybe would be the MVP. It'd be close. But what made Steph's season last year, in addition to all you said, because he was tremendous, but what put him over the top and made it one of the all-time great seasons was not the three-pointers. That's nice, but it's a new game. It's a different game now. Okay? What made it was the 73 wins. You do that without 73 wins, and it's not as
I was talking
special.
to your guy, Justin, who runs this podcast, and he made a great point. He said, last year when Curry was playing, they were chasing the record. Yeah. He was hitting the threes. I was building my nights around watching Steph Curry. This year, I'm not building my nights around watching Russell Westbrook pad his stats. And I'm not doing that either. That's a lot of people.
What he's talking
NBA
about.
ratings are down big time this year. All right,
but that's because of Westbrook?
Well, I mean, who cares? They don't need to watch a guy
that's because of something we're going to get to later.
That's
because of guys sitting out.
Oh, boy, don't get me started
That's because of nationally television. No, you know what? It's not.
No.
We're going right there now. That's because guys are sitting out. Golden State's big three sitting out nationally televised games. LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love sitting out nationally televised games. That's a big story. I'm glad you brought that up. That's the next question.
Okay.
Let's go there now. Do you think it's a problem for the league that guys are sitting out these games?
No.
Not at the end of the season.
Deal with it,
I'm
Adam
with you
Silver.
the last week
What's
or
that
two.
video, the GIF where the guy where he puts on the glasses and you see deal with it? Deal with it, Adam Silver. Your move.
So, what should his move be?
Adam Silver's got to shorten the season, which ain't happening. The owners ain't giving that money back, right? Or
eventually,
you got to eliminate back-to-backs and stop making.
You can't. I mean, they've tried.
Listen.
They're gonna lengthen the season a week to 10 days more. They still can't get rid of all the back-to-back.
Well, they got to do their best job.
So you're with the players.
Well, I'm totally with the
Why?
players. Here's the last one. Okay, Steph Curry and the Warriors traveled, I believe it's 28,000 miles this year, more than any other team in the league. I know some of that has to do with them being on the West Coast. Michael Jordan never traveled this much in the 90s when he played because there weren't national TV games.
What?
There weren't.
What do you think the 90s was?
NBC.
The prehistoric era?
Hold on. NBC had 24 national TV games in 97, 98. The Warriors alone play 28 this year. They play more national TV games than NBC
that's only
had.
Four
more than all of NBC had. There weren't as many. You got to travel here.
Hold on, but you know what Michael Jordan did do? He had to fly commercial. How about that?
No, Michael Jordan had to fly a commercial.
Just Michael,
the indignity of Michael Jordan.
It's a lot.
Crumbling
have
his
you ever been on a charter? Have you ever been on a charter flight?
Yeah, I'm sure he was in row 31 next to the bathroom, like you and I.
He
no,
might
you fly
not
first
been,
class. You're
but
big
several players had to fly commercial. 6'6", 7 feet tall, flying commercial. Right. Sometimes playing 3 games in 3 nights.
He took a year and a half
didn't
off.
Have the
Don't
weight
defend
training,
Michael Jordan.
Didn't have nutritionists. Didn't have the equipment that they have now. The technology wasn't as good,
so
and they weren't complaining about 82 games. So why are these guys complaining so much?
Because we're a lot more educated on health and genetics. There's so much.
If the science is saying that you have to rest, why didn't Cleveland rest Tristan Thompson? Why did he play 447 straight games?
Tristan Thompson? We're talking about the 4th most important player on the Cavs?
It's still a player.
And you're not mentioning a Kardashian?
So is the rest saying only LeBron and Kyrie rest? Kyrie's 24 years old. Why is he resting?
Are you serious with Tristan Thompson? You think he's a factor? You think he does anything like Steph Curry trying to get open for shots? LeBron
he bangs with big men. That's what he does.
I'll go bang with big guys in the paint. I won't have to take a night off. Give me a break.
Look.
So what's your solution?
It doesn't make sense. It's no rationale.
Your phone is blowing up right now. That's Adam Silver. Chris, I need a solution right now. What's the solution?
I say get rid of shoot-arounds. Morning shoot-arounds, at least on the road.
Get rid of shoot-arounds.
You don't even know what a shoot-around is,
I think I've never covered the NBA like it.
And you hear debating me?
In the morning, after they get off a flight at 3 in the morning, right? They got to come out to the gym and shoot around, warm up a little bit.
At 9, 10 a.m., every team, unless it's a second game of a back-to-back, they go to the gym in the morning and have a practice. That's what a shoot-around is. Now, they should be resting. Like you said, they get in at 3 a.m. Why are you waking them up at 8:30 in the morning to go to the get on the bus?
That's a fair question. We're going to eliminate shoot-arounds.
Let them rest. Okay. Let them get a full night's sleep
because walking up to the gym and just jacking up a couple shots is exhausting. Is that what you're saying?
It disrupts your sleep. You got to get taped. You got to go watch film. You got to run through the plays, the game plan. You could do that an hour before the game.
So shoot-arounds
Let the players have
a
full night's sleep. If you have to rest them, don't rest them on practice. Don't have them practice that day. Let them get their rest on the off days. And I'm with you. I would love to see the season shortened. I would love to see them go to about 66 games.
Yeah.
Now, I think every game would be more important. Eventually, maybe you can make up the gate because you raise the ticket prices because the games mean more. Obviously, you take a hit initially. But I'd love for it to end that way.
You can't take money out of the billionaires' pockets. You absolutely can't do that.
Okay.
But listen, Meta World Peace, who came on your podcast, made a good point. All these fans out there, Johnny in Chicago, crying because Steph Curry showed up and didn't play.
Why are you dissing Johnny in Chicago? You used to be Johnny in Chicago.
I was.
You start wearing,
stop it.
Whatever that is.
So here's a solution, Johnny and Milwaukee people. Go to the games early in the season. Nobody's resting. Nobody's resting early in the season.
Sacramento rested DeMarcus Cousins in November. I believe
no, that might have been a technical foul thing. Ain't nobody going to see DeMarcus Cousins. They go to see Steph Curry,
rested early in the season,
who's the number one jersey sales guy in the league. They go to see Curry, Westbrook, LeBron. Those are the big draws right now. Maybe Harden. Ain't nobody, oh my gosh, DeMarcus Cousins is in town. I got to go see that. Players get ejected in the second quarter. Nobody cares about DeMarcus Cousins.
Look, if I buy my ticket, I take my son, I spend $300-$400 to go see a star player.
You haven't paid for a ticket in 2 decades, Chris. Well, don't lie. Don't lie.
I'm talking about workers. Again, point Broussard, 3-0. This is a blowout, man. Come with something.
Right.
Come correct or don't come to the zone.
All right, listen. Should Kevin Durant re-sign with the Warriors or go elsewhere? I mean, I hope you don't go where I think you're going to go here.
This is a tough one.
What?
I know he's going to resign. But if they win it, I'm just going to put it this way. If they win the championship and he wins the Finals MVP, nobody can slight him. Nobody can say, "Oh,
they're going to slight him and say,
if he's the Finals MVP, they're not going to say that. If he nobody was saying that before he got hurt. He was clearly their best player. So if he's clearly
in the MVP race as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was enough of a negative sentiment regarding him because of going to Golden State that I don't think he would have won it, or really people considered him. Next year, he could be in the race. I'm not saying I didn't begrudge him for going to Golden State. I certainly won't begrudge him for staying. If he wants to, he has to do what's going to make him happy.
Where's he going to go,
multiple champiompionships.
Where
I'm just
going to
put it this way.
Oh, no.
Can I bring? You asked me a question. Can I answer?
Can I guess? Are you going to say Washington?
Let me finish my statement.
I can read his mind.
I'm not saying he should. I'm saying, again, if they win the championship and he's the Finals MVP, that solidifies him not only as a champion, but as the guy that drove the bus. It would be better for the NBA, and it would be better for the NBA if he went to either Washington or Boston or something like that. Number one.
Oh,
because
Boston gets the number one pick and Kevin Durant. That sounds real good.
It would create another elite team, which we need. We sorely need.
Did we need another elite team when Jordan peeled off 6 straight in the 90s?
Because he faced a bunch of different teams.
No,
Phoenix was elite. The Lakers he beat.
Phoenix elite. Well, they win 56
Charles
games?
Barkley?
Oh, my, get out of here.
Charles Barkley was a great... You weren't watching basketball
dynasties.
back then, though, right?
Fans love dynasties.
Well, why are the ratings
New York
down?
Yankees.
When we knew it's going to be Cleveland against Golden State, the ratings plummeted.
Can we get to the finals and talk ratings? I don't remember what the ratings were in the 96 regular season. Do you? No. All we care about is the finals.
They
like
were
the
great
NFL
of Michael
playoffs,
Jordan.
the World Series with the Cubs. People dominant teams.
And your last argument was that the ratings are down.
They are down.
All right, so they're down because everybody knows it's going to be Golden State and Cleveland.
Wait, I thought you said they were down because the players are resting.
Team.
Which is it,
That's
Broussard?
also
Which
a factor.
is it?
There's 2 factors.
He's foaming at the mouth.
Look, you got to tell me if Durant went to Washington, it wouldn't be better for the NBA. Now Cleveland's not a certainty to win the East.
No.
Now you got the two best players in the East battling against each other. You have San Antonio and Golden State battling in the West. It would be tremendous.
You know what was great for the NBA? When the Warriors chased 73 wins last year. And with Kevin Durant healthy for a full season,
73 without Durant.
Next year with no. Come on, that bench is depleted. There's no room for error.
How depleted did it look when Durant wasn't there for the last 2 months?
The schedule loosened up a lot. They won 13 straight.
They beat the top teams in the league. They beat Houston. They beat San Antonio. What are you talking about?
Chris, they rested their players.
Schedule lightened up.
They rested their players. No more back-to-backs, and then they took out the team.
They rested the players 1 game.
That's all it took, because they had the brutal road trip.
So that's the reason.
Point McIntyre. I'm on the scoreboard.
No way.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with Durant.
You can't.
Steph,
Chris.
And I'm going to say this too, and I want to see how it plays out in the playoffs, because Steph hasn't dominated the playoffs like he has the regular season, right?
Well,
the last 2 years.
Not the finals, I would agree, but in the playoffs, he's been very good.
He's been good. He's been good in the finals, too. I'm not saying he hasn't been good. I'm just saying he hasn't been as dominant as he was during the regular season.
That's why they need Durant to stay.
I think that makes some sense, all right? But Steph is a different player when Durant's not there.
Yes.
More dynamic. Still great even with Durant, 25 points a game, all that. But more dynamic. And for his he will not play. He will not have a season like he had last year.
No, that was
as long as Durant's there.
Season.
If Kevin wasn't there, though, he could do it. He could at least come close to that.
Steph Curry cares about that? He's been an MVP twice.
I don't
All
think
it's
he
about
cares.
now is rings and legacy.
I think Steph showed humility by even wanting Durant to come
Embraced
there.
it,
I
recruited
totally agree.
him.
I'm talking about from a fan's perspective, and I'm talking about his legacy. Now, if he wins 4 rings with Durant, his legacy gonna be great no matter what. But I'm saying the way he played last year, If he had 4 or 5 seasons like that and they win another,
nobody can keep up that pace, dude.
Why not? That's what he is. That's the player he is. He's a great shooter. He's the best shooter in NBA history.
I would almost say that season was an anomaly. If you look at the previous years leading up, last year was
Steve Kerr's
like
system. Steve Kerr's system is perfect for Steph Curry.
Except what happened in Game 7 last year. When it becomes a half-court game, Curry can struggle. Look at the Game 7 tape against the Cavs. He was
still very good.
Curry and Clay were 12 for 36 in Game 7. They needed Kevin Durant.
That's a good
argument. That's what happens.
I give you that.
In
that's
the playoffs,
a good argument.
It's a condensed game, half court, more physical, and Curry struggled a bit. Now, I'm a huge Curry fan. You know that.
That's a good. I give you that, and that's why I'm not quite sure. Let's see. I don't know how many more championships he could win without Durant, but I think arguably he could still win a lot. Right,
let me wrap
Durant.
up this topic with one thing. You just made a great point that could become a question. Steph Curry recruited Durant.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, we talk about his season. Who's he recruiting to bring in next year? Who's out there clamoring like Durant was? Oh, man, I got to go play with Westbrook. That looks like fun.
It wasn't just Steph. It was Draymond.
Because guess
Clay.
What? That is a fun team.
But not just because
Kevin
of
Durant
Steph. Nobody was dying
to
go there before Steve Kerr got there and put in that system.
Oh, so you think everybody's going to want to go to the Warriors, Durant and David West, they're going there for Steve Kerr?
No, I'm saying their system and the players.
Okay.
Steph, Draymond,
who's
Clay.
Who's going to OKC to play with West? Who's like, oh, Westbrook's the MVP. Well, you want to go play with him, Blake Griffin? You can.
Hold on.
Are you going there?
You just told me a few minutes ago his teammates are actually boxing out their man, letting Westbrook get the rebound. That's love. That's love.
From his own teammates. Where's the love? Where's the love?
That means players like playing with Westbrook. They like his heart. They like that he's a soldier. Okay. He is a straight-up warrior.
And who's going to go play with him?
And they like that.
Who's going to go play with him as a free agent?
Who's going anywhere?
Blake Griffin.
Players only
Blake Griffin's
going
a free
to
agent. Oklahoma's his team. He grew up there.
You think he wants to leave Los Angeles to live in Oklahoma City? I don't care where he's from.
MVP, and it's so fun and exciting.
Players
and so fun
only
to watch him.
Hold on, players only go to a few places. Players aren't even going to the Lakers anymore.
So it has nothing to do with Westbrook.
LeBron went home.
The Dust Bowl.
LeBron went
Oklahoma.
home to Cleveland. Durant went to Golden State because of the personnel and the style of
Kevin
play.
Love said,
He
I
was
was
traded.
Yeah, but you don't think he had any say in that? You think he's just sitting back and they're like, you're going to Cleveland. Oh, okay, great.
The only say he had was in his decision to sign there long term.
Yeah, sure.
That was because of LeBron.
Well, listen, the option is there. If anybody wants to go play with Westbrook, nobody will go play with Westbrook this summer.
So you don't think players want to play with him? Players that respect, big-time respect
You can
for
respect him, but you want to know
He wasn't doing that when he had Kevin Durant.
400 more shots than anyone else in the NBA.
Who should have got those 400 shots?
I don't know. Maybe develop your young players and build a championship contender.
With that roster?
Oh, yeah. All those lottery picks suck. Oladipo is a top 5 pick. Steven Adams was a lottery pick.
Oh, we
Cantor,
haven't seen any bust. We haven't seen bust in the top 5.
Those guys are good
players.
There
are plenty of busts that are lottery picks.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oladipo's not bad.
I'm going to give you a negative point for that, so I believe it's 2-1 Broussard. What do you got next? Come on, fire away.
I'm killing it.
Come at me, bro.
You're getting a little too cocky. You think you're doing something. All right. Who should be the number 1 pick in this year's draft?
Depends who gets the number 1 pick. Because, listen, Boston gets it. Well, what do they do in the postseason? Where are they going? Do they make a run?
From what we know now, let's say.
Well, Boston going to be the number 1 seed.
Let's say Boston gets the number 1 pick. Who should they get picked?
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Jason Tatum of Duke. I think Boston has a really good backcourt. They got a glut of good guards. But when you go small ball, you got to match up with Paul George. You got to match up with Jimmy Butler, LeBron James, and the Warriors. I think you need Tatum at the 4, or maybe he could even play the 5 in a small ball lineup. I love his game from Duke. Not a slight to Lonzo or Fultz. I like Josh Jackson. I love his game.
He could be the guy.
It's a great draft. It's a great draft.
This is the thing. If you're and look, Boston may have a chance to get Gordon Hayward.
Well, Boston has to decide.
And so we're talking about right now.
What does Boston do with Isaiah Thomas? He doesn't play any defense. You watch.
If I'm Boston,
he is a terrible defender.
If I'm Boston, this is my plan. If I get the number 1 pick, I'm taking Lonzo Ball, and I'm trying to get Gordon Hayward in free agency. That's my plan. Now, Lonzo Ball can play next to Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is really a two-guard.
What are you going to do with Marcus Smart, Jay Crowder?
I'm not drafting somebody because of Marcus Smart.
So your backcourt is now
I'm
two
keeping Marcus
guys.
Smart on the bench, and he can be a backup defensive guy, which he's a great defender.
Two guys who cannot defend at all. Isaiah Thomas.
There's no backcourts like that.
Isaiah Thomas is one of the worst defenders in the league by the advanced metrics. And Lonzo Ball, we saw, he don't play no defense.
By the advanced metrics, Kawhi Leonard didn't have a great defensive year.
Well,
you can make advanced metrics say anything, but that's what they said.
You know Isaiah Thomas is not a good defensive
player. I agree, but my point is this.
LeBron attacked him relentlessly with Kyrie on the pick and roll too. Watching the postseason, he's going to get eaten up by John Wall. John Wall's going to eat him up.
This is what I do. If I draft Lonzo Ball, who's 6'7", he can guard
6'5",
twos.
okay.
He can guard twos.
He don't guard nobody.
Isaiah can
Go
guard
ask
one.
USC players, does he defend?
Most guards don't guard anybody.
Okay. All right.
Damian Lillard, does he guard anybody? Does
No.
Kyrie Irving guard
They got
anybody?
rim protectors.
Does Steph Curry guard anybody?
Steph Curry's a great... No, he's not.
So I'm putting Lonzo Ball at the point, Isaiah at the 2 on offense and switching them on defense, and then I got Hayward at the 3 if I can get him as a free
Bradley,
agent.
Jay Crowder, Marcus...
They're great players, but they come
So you're
off the
targeting
bench.
Hayward
need
over
depth.
Jimmy Butler, Paul George.
Butler's not a free agent. And Paul George is a free agent.
You got the trade chips. You got tons of guys you can trade.
That's one reason they didn't give up that first round pick for one of those guys.
Who's your clutch player on that team? Who is your
Isaiah
final
was like the leading fourth quarter
in the
scorer
regular
in the league.
season? We just talked about Steph Curry in the playoffs.
Seen the playoffs yet.
Yeah, I'm not dumping on Isaiah Thomas, but he's like a fan favorite in Boston. They're number one player right now. The fans love him.
Should he not be?
I think they got to move on from him if they want to take the next step.
He led them to 50 wins.
Okay. You know Danny Ainge is that guy.
He's the problem? He's the problem?
I think defense. Well, he's holding you back.
Adding something somewhere. He's not holding you back.
He doesn't play defense, Chris.
Neither does James Harden, your MVP.
James Harden is a better defender than he was last year. He's not an elite.
He's still
elite. Better.
He's still not even good. Come on, be honest.
He's better defender than Isaiah Thomas.
Credibility.
I'm not saying
the zone fans will not want you back if you sit here and tell me James Harden is a good defender.
I said he's better at defense than last year.
Is he good yet?
He's better than Steph Curry at defense.
Is he good yet?
He's good. He's a good defender. He's not great. He is good. I will go.
I feel for you.
I got Daryl Morey on speed dial. Daryl Morey has an arsenal.
Of course. To Daryl Morey, he's the best defender we've ever seen.
They got the spreadsheets. They got all the numbers, the analytics that you love.
What's your next question? 4-1 Broussard. All right, look, let's get to this question. Is LeBron James, I said it earlier, okay, he's the best player in the world. Is he still the best player in the world, or are we just saying that because he has been for so many years?
Yeah, I think it's very dependent on what happens in the postseason. You know, I'm very dubious that Cleveland's going to get back to the finals.
Really?
Right now,
dubious?
Oh, yeah.
To the finals?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
So what's your percentage? Are they still your favorite in the East?
So the first round,
the fact that you had to pause and take a deep
listen,
breath.
man, this is a team that for 40 games now has been hovering slightly above 500. This is the 22nd ranked defense in the league.
Who's beating them in the East?
Well, I think Toronto could give them a run. Now, don't laugh.
A run ain't beating them.
I told you when they got Serge Ibaka, keep an eye on this team. Now, Kyle Lowry's healthy again. They took 2 games from the Cavs last year. That was a bit of a surprise. You could say Cleveland didn't care. That's fine.
Yes, I would say Cleveland didn't.
Toronto's going to give them a run.
So,
I think Washington is very dangerous. It's a good matchup for Cleveland.
So
I'm sorry, for Washington.
No, look, those teams are tough, and we can throw Boston in there.
And, of course, Boston has a better coach. Now,
yes,
I know Boston doesn't have a great superstar player, despite your love for Isaiah Thomas.
He didn't deliver this year?
They've got the best coach, one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Isaiah? What's it against Isaiah
I have
that you
no
got?
beef with Isaiah Thomas.
I know you only started watching basketball 10 years ago, but because you dissing the legends of the 70s. Come on, man.
Listen, LeBron, but I'm going to go back to it. I don't think Cleveland's a lock to get to the final.
So what percentage? Give me. I'm at 80% Cleveland. 80%
I go
chance
51% chance to come out of these. Chris, I cannot express this enough. 6 years in a row, LeBron's been to the finals. They are tired, especially LeBron James. And remember, he's played more career playoff minutes than Jordan, Magic, Bird. This 6-year run, LeBron's had more playoff minutes than Barkley had in his whole career.
Okay, so
that's why he's resting a lot this year.
Back to the question: if he's so tired, worn down, so much mileage on the tread, is he still the best? I do agree with you that look right now. I'm saying LeBron James is the best player in the league.
That could change in June, though.
Well, if he gets the Cavs to the finals and, performs like we expect him to, win or lose,
there's no way he's doing what he did last year.
He's the best player in the world.
Let me tweak it.
My thing is, if they get beat in the Eastern Conference playoffs, if they go out in the first, second, even third round, then I think it becomes a real question. Is LeBron still the best player in the world? Because I think you agree with this. Cleveland has the best talent in the league, in the East.
Yes, undeniable.
Okay. So if you're the best player in the world, you've got the best talent in the conference, you should win the conference. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying it would be up for debate. And look, this is no slight on LeBron. He's in his 14th season. You mentioned the mileage. There is not another player in NBA history who has been the best player in the world in their 14th season. And people, so at some point, he's going to start to decline.
Michael Jordan, 3 straight finals, took a year and a half off. LeBron didn't get that year and a half off. Yeah. So just to go back, I do believe that he's still the best for now at this very moment, April, whatever day this is in April. Yeah. I think it could change come June. And I'm going to say this. If because you got the connections, you got Danny Ainge on the speed dial. If you talk to 30 GMs, who are you starting a team with today? I don't think it's overwhelmingly LeBron. I think Kawhi Leonard gets a lot of votes.
Obviously, we're taking age and all that.
Oh, certainly. I think Kawhi Leonard gets a lot of votes. He's the best two-way player in the league.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Now,
you're not saying he's the best player, obviously,
correct,
in the league, but Kawhi would get
Kevin
a lot
Durant,
of votes.
who, by the way, had his best season ever as a shot blocker. Yeah. Warriors led the league in blocks this year. They were second the last 3 years. They led the league thanks to Durant.
No, I'm with you, and I do agree. Let's see what happens in the postseason.
Let me add one more stat before we move on.
This is when you become the best player in the world.
Let me add one more.
In the postseason.
And a nod to Skip Bayless, your friend. I have not appeared on Undisputed yet. Hopefully in the future.
Not? You bringing the heat.
Yeah, I'm
bringing
aware of this.
More heat, but you bring.
I've got to turn up my heat a notch. So here you go. Skip Bayless has pointed this out. LeBron's shooting 67% at the line, the worst of his career. Is that a sign of tiredness? When you're tired, you go to the free throw line. Free throws should be easy. Now, I'm a great free throw shooter myself. So speaking from experience,
in the Culver City rec league,
if I'm struggling from the line, I might be a little gassed. I'm just saying. No, I still love LeBron. This is not a slight. I don't want your guy Nick Wright coming after me.
37 minutes.
That's a great question.
That kind of goes to my point earlier about like all these games, like all this rest. If your science is telling you rest, guys, why are you playing
more rebounds?
Your 14th guys is in his 14th year in the league. Why is he playing 37
most
minutes?
Career rebounds, most career assists. He's got the ball in his hands a lot. Something's wrong.
That play, see, you wonder, are the minutes so he can get those stats?
Why? What does he need stats for?
He doesn't. But is that part of his thing? I don't know. Because if you don't feel you could get those, I think he could. In 34 minutes. Like, why? I don't understand why LeBron James is playing 37 minutes.
Let me toss a theory.
Night.
It just hit me, just dawned upon me, the roof open here. Did he see what Steph Curry did last year?
Oh.
Won the MVP overwhelmingly and say, you know what? I need to diversify. I need to diversify my portfolio. Less scoring, more assists, more rebounds, a little more balance. I need to get in that MVP discussion because I'm LeBron James.
Well, I think he definitely wanted the MVP award. I do think he took back the face of the league.
He did.
And best player in the world from Steph during the playoffs and mainly the finals.
In the final 3 games only. I can't
but
believe they were
throughout the
Warriors had him 3-1. If the Warriors win,
greatest comeback in NBA history without question.
If the Warriors finish that, do they even get Durant? I don't think so.
I don't think Durant goes
so that
there.
just changes that Klay Thompson game in Game 6 in OKC.
It's OKC.
Changes everything. All right, move on. Who's up next? Me?
You.
Okay. I love this question. What's the best situation for Lonzo Ball to go into? Best.
All right, best.
And it ain't Boston.
No. There's 2 situations I'd love to see him in. The Lakers. He's obviously the hometown kid.
Okay.
I think he's reminiscent somewhat in some ways of Magic Johnson. He could learn at Magic's feet, and that would resurrect the Lakers franchise, I believe. Not right away, but eventually. But I think an even better situation, Minnesota.
Come on, get up out of here. Get out! You just, Broussard, get off your own podcast. Minnesota, you want Lonzo Ball to go to Minnesota.
Yes, to play with Andrew Wiggins
Ricky
and Carl
Rubio,
and
Zach LaVine, Karl Anthony Towns.
Yes,
all those guys need the ball.
All they need,
Tom Thibodeau, who drove Derrick Rose into the ground.
Lonzo doesn't need the ball.
That would be a disaster.
That's the
LeVar
point.
Ball will be popping off.
No, he would not with Thibodeau.
Let me go back to the Lakers.
Let me finish. Let me tell you why Minnesota is the best. Because I can't believe you shot that. Do you watch basketball?
A little bit.
Look, Carl Anthony, they got mega talent on that team. Yeah. All they need is a player to bring it together. That is Ball's greatest strength.
He's a unifier.
He's not trying to get 20 shots a night. All right? I would trade Zach LaVine and Chris Dunn to move up
they just
to try
drafted
to
Chris
get
Dunn. Good
fine.
point.
He's not
going
to be Lonzo Ball. He's all right. He's all right, but Lonzo Ball is special.
Oh,
and you put him next to
Andrew
Andrew
run that Kentucky
Wiggins.
tape, guys? When he was special, getting dusted,
he didn't
eaten alive by De'Aaron Fox.
You don't have the eye.
I forgot. TJ Leaf is nothing special. He's
he?
a first round draft pick. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna be Tyler Zeller. All right, you like that?
I think he's got a bigger upside.
Really? Really? Cody then? Cody Zeller? Maybe that.
Right.
All right, look.
Finish Minnesota. I got a good comeback for your Lakers.
He is a unifier. He makes everybody better. He's a longer version of Jason Kidd, but he shoots much better. The difference between him and Rubio, get Rubio. Rubio can go.
Yeah,
Rubio's
he's having a good season, by the way.
Passer.
Good season.
Great passer, but he's not a threat. You don't even have to guard him. Even when he penetrates, he's not trying to finish.
Self-check, kind of like you with your jumper.
Okay. Yo, you better ask somebody. Ask your former teammates. They upgraded when they got me for you.
I couldn't play this season.
Yeah, likely. So you gotta rest. You gotta rest.
I'm
like old enough to be your dad.
Oh,
even though it don't look
all
like
right,
it.
Finish
even though it don't
Minnesota,
look like you could be my dad. But in fact, I'm older. Now listen, here we go.
Boy.
Getting back to some
These worked into a lather
You
today.
came in the zone, man. You came in the zone.
We need
popping
a sound
off.
effect for
I
that
had to let you know what time it is. All right, here we go. Lonzo Ball. He would bring Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins together, and that would be a big three that would be great. I'm not going to say for the ages. It'd be a great big three, and that's why I love him in Minnesota.
Let me go back.
Rubio can't shoot. That's why he's not a threat. Lonzo, can shoot.
They took
now, he's
Dunn's.
not mid-range.
I think Dunn was 6th overall, 7th, something like that. Anyway, let me go back to Lakers, why it could be a problem. You know the stories of how, you graduate high school, you got to get out of town because you got all your boys. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to be too close to LeVar. Then he's courtside at every game.
LeVar's probably going to go wherever he's at. Well, no, you with the other two. With the other Suns, he might stay in L.A.
He's going to be outside the locker room. The media's going to be all over him. I think it could be dicey, not to mention Brandon Ingram's young, D'Angelo Russell, Jordan Clarkson. They got a lot of young guys who need the ball.
That's what I'm saying. He brings that together.
I don't know.
They need somebody to bring them together. Who you got?
This.
If it's not Boston, not L.A., not Minnesota, who in the world?
He's ready for this one. A team that has one
Phoenix.
playoff series win in the last 16 years. A team that plays on the other side of the country from LeVar Ball. A team with no backcourt to speak of. My New York Knicks. Lonzo Ball, run the show from day
the triangle?
one. Forget the triangle.
No,
Phil's
that's
getting
what
dusted.
Phil wants to
Phil's
run.
Gone. He's out of here in the next 2 months. Watch.
Oh, you
so
think?
Lonzo Ball will get the ball in his hands from day one. His show. Him and Porzingis, Melo.
You want him in New York City, young cat?
I think
away from home for the
first
time.
I think it's a great spot where his show.
New York hasn't been a great spot for anybody since Patrick Ewing.
Exactly. They've been so bad. If he can get them to 500 the first year, that's a huge win for him. This is a downtrodden franchise. They're desperate for a star. They're over Melo. They're over Phil. They like Porzingis. But Lonzo, point guard, I think there's huge upside for Lonzo Ball in New York City.
I don't hate it. I mean, that wouldn't be that ain't no win. I crushed. That ain't no win. But no, look, I don't hate it. But New York, man, New York young players is scary. It's just a whole lot that comes with that.
I know you follow him on Instagram. He's got his longtime girlfriend. He's good. So
he's a good kid. I like him.
I don't know if he's going to be up in 1-0.
There's been a lot of good kids
popping bottles
coming into the league. And the other thing, and you seem certain about it. I'm not so certain about it. If Phil insists on running the triangle, I mean, come on.
I don't think Phil Jackson's going to be there.
But right now he is, and he hasn't shown any. You think they're going to fire him?
I do believe so, yeah.
If they get rid of Phil,
you know how bad
and they can run a regular,
for the league
it's bad.
With Phil Jackson,
it's bad.
What free agents are coming to sit down with New York this offseason?
Well, money talks.
Really?
Talks.
They couldn't get Greg Monroe. He went to Milwaukee instead of the New York Knicks.
I'm not
they
saying
couldn't get meetings with these guys. They need to get him out of there. He had to settle for Joakim Noah, who, oh my gosh, I can't believe I liked that at the time, and Derrick Rose, they're both broken and they're done. Phil whiffed. He took a chance. He swung for the fences. He struck out. And Dolan, I think, just the Carmelo stuff, the LeBron taking shots at him. The optics for the Knicks are bad. I'm going to give you a name who's going to replace him.
Who?
We're going on record here on In the Zone podcast. Isaiah Thomas will be back in New York as the next GM of the New York
That
Knicks.
wouldn't, I mean, obviously Isaiah's
He's your boy.
great,
Call him up.
Great with Dolan.
He
He's
ain't gonna
still with
deny
the
it.
Liberty and all that stuff. That wouldn't shock everybody. But Lonzo, I mean, it's not the best fit. It's not a terrible fit.
It's better than Minnesota.
Him and Porzingis would be great together.
We already saw a UCLA guy go to Minnesota.
Your boy Willie Hernan Gomez. But why not Minnesota?
We already saw a UCLA guy go to Minnesota, and they didn't win jack squat.
Shabazz Muhammad?
Kevin Love. No, Kevin Love.
He ain't Lonzo Ball. Kevin Love is not Lonzo Ball.
There was a time when Kevin Love was a top 10 player in the NBA.
According to who? The analytics
Lonzo.
guys,
We're
that's it. He never
anointing.
won. The eye test told me he's not top 10.
What eye test? Lonzo Ball
My
against
eye
Kentucky
test.
where he
Lonzo
got
Ball
roasted.
is the truth,
He
dude.
got lit up.
Lonzo Ball
listen,
is the TRUTH.
De'Aaron Fox blasted him back into...
In a one-on-one game, he got it.
No,
De'Aaron
it was
Fox is
5
quicker.
on 5.
De'Aaron Fox is quicker. Ball is not a takeover scorer. That's not what he does. And he didn't have the supporting cast that De'Aaron Fox had. You had to worry about Malik.
games. What are we
Because he lifted guys that were mediocre.
Lift him up against Kentucky.
But
What do you have,
Kentucky
2
had
buckets in the
better
second
players.
half?
They got Malik Monk. They got Bam Adebayo.
I don't know if I can trust your Lonzo Ball takes because you're so tight with LeVar. I know you guys are boys.
Yo, they are in the zone favorites. There's no doubt about it. Their friends are in the zone.
Yeah, I saw
I love Lonzo Ball's game.
This is breaking news. Chris Broussard came into the office today wearing a 3B
No, please.
LeVar Ball t-shirt.
Lying.
He is on the tape.
On that
It's
note, you have resorted to telling fibs. That means I got the best of you. We're out of the zone. Peace.
That's good.
That was great, man. That was great.